because we are doing an incredible show today all about food safety. And it should be wonderful because we're all at that time of year when we like to go out, when we're barbecuing and cooking, and we have a lot of questions because we want to enjoy this delicious food. This is my favorite time of year. I don't know about you, but we are actually going to start in about 3 minutes officially. But for those of you, particularly any of my patients, my MGH patients, MathWorks people in my private practice who might be on right now, you know I like to start a little early to give you guys a special shout out. But to anybody who's new to my channel, I also want to give a special welcome and a hello to you, and to those who are returning, who have been new in the past, who've joined me. I'm thrilled, just delighted to be able to do this with you today. We are going to officially start in about 2 minutes, and if you are here, definitely give me a thumbs up. I already have one thumbs up, which I'm so excited about. So anybody who is on, definitely give me a thumbs up to let me know you're here. The beauty of the live stream is that we will be able to go live, and I can answer your questions live. So I'm all excited about that. We just started now to be able to say hello to everybody. There are 3 people watching. I'm very excited about that. So welcome to all of you. And I'm gonna, if there's any questions, the beauty of the live stream is you can type it right in. It'll be on my laptop right here. That's why it's here, and I'll be able to answer any of your questions, whether they relate to food safety or not. Definitely throw them my way. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, in about 1 minute, I'm going to give the official start, and we will get this going. So you know I like to do it 7 on the Monday, so that we know. And here it is. So, should you toss or should you keep? That is the question when it comes to food. And we throw out, as Americans, nearly half of all of our food because we think that it is no longer safe to eat. My son, I don't know about if there's anybody in your house, we call him the stickler for freshness because he goes around, he checks all these dates. They sell by dates, use by dates, best by dates, and they're confusing, but they're enough to throw him. And if something in the fridge or in my cupboard has passed the date, his motto is toss it out. He's just not comfortable. So let me set the record straight. That these labels, first of all, only 20 states in the country have federally mandated labeling laws in terms of date laws, and they are really intended to be a service to the manufacturer, to the retailer, so they know when to pull these things from the shelf. They are mostly related to peak quality or freshness, which is very different than food safety. So let me go through a couple of these, and I have some foods here. As you know, I like to keep it real. But before we go any further, let me say, why is it that I'm in a position to be able to do this and to answer your questions? Is because my name is Debbie Kravitsky. I've been a registered dietitian for over 30 years. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And definitely, please, if this interests you, please hit the subscribe button below. Also, the beauty of a live stream, which I do every other Sunday at 7 o'clock, is to be able to answer your questions live right here. It will come up on my screen, and I'm going to answer you as quickly as I see it. So definitely, and if there are topics that you'd like me to cover, or questions that you might have that you'd like me to address, definitely put it in the comments button below, because I welcome these and I look forward to hearing from you. If you're here, give me the thumbs up, and because that will let me know that you're here joining me on this live stream today. Any video that you see that you do like, also please give it a thumbs up. That will help me to know that I'm on the right track covering things that are important, topics that are important and dear and near to your heart. But let me introduce myself. I've been a registered dietitian, as I said, for over 30 years. Currently, I'm the Director of Nutrition at the Massachusetts General Hospital Cardiovascular Disease Prevention Center. I consult with many corporations. I've appeared in national publications such as World Health and News Report, as well as Family Circle and Harper's Bazaar. I've also appeared in television, and I have a private practice. I take great pride in helping people to meet their dietary goals in a realistic and sustainable way. Together, we will shop, we will cook, and I will navigate the way. So let's get started. Today's topic, food safety, when to toss and when to throw. Let me talk to you about what these labels on your food mean. The sell-by date, it has only to do with peak freshness. It's really for the retailer, so the retailer knows when they should perhaps pull it from the shelf. But it has nothing to do with safety. Things can go much longer after the sell-by date. Eggs, for example, will go 3 weeks after the sell-by date. So here's my sell-by date, and it was at the beginning of August, but I know I've got time after that. But shh, don't tell my son, because he hasn't bought in yet. There's also sell-by dates on most things, even on milk. So really, what I want you to do is trust you. Employ your senses, your taste, your sense of smell. If you smell the milk and it's sour, toss it. And when in doubt, always throw it out. That's my mantra. When in doubt, throw it out. And take a look at it. If it looks funky, if you see mold, if it's rotting, absolutely toss it. But things like these, sell by, I'm good to go. I can go until I see otherwise. Best if used by refers to quality. Sour cream, for example, when it's at peak, it's got a little bit more tang, a little bit more sour taste. But it doesn't mean it's not safe. It'll continue to be safe for some time thereafter. Guaranteed fresh is only for bakery items, but it's still edible for days after that. Use by is the last recommended date for use of the product. Same thing, peak quality. The one that you really want to watch for is expiration date. Expiration date is the only one that really will matter in terms of don't use it after that. I went through my fridge. The only thing I found that had expiration date was this spread. Expiration date. The expiration date for me is coming up, so shush, I'll know, I'm on the lookout for it, and I will toss this at the appropriate time. But that is the only one that you're looking for. Now, in terms of food storage and food handling, it starts at the supermarket. Many times I'm not going straight home. Does this happen to any of you? You have to go places after the market. Maybe it's hot out, maybe it's not, but you just wonder, how fast do I have to go, driving safely, of course, before my food goes bad? Because you just spent all this time in the market getting exactly what you need, and you don't want that food to spoil so that when you get home, you're good to go. Your window is 2 hours, and the 2-hour timer starts from the minute you take it from the shelf and you put it in your cart. Now, if it is 90 degrees or over, here we are in Boston, tomorrow is going to be 90 to 100 depending on where you are. I know, brutal, but I'm not going to complain because I'm going to think about February. And I'll only have 1 hour. 90 or above, it goes down to 1 hour. If it's under 90, cooler than 90 degrees, you've got 2 hours from the time you put it in your cart to when you bring it home. So that is your window. Now, once you get it home, immediately, freezer, refrigerator, or a cupboard if you need to. Keep in mind that canned goods will have, you've got quite a bit of time here. Canned goods will stay, the date on canned goods are the date packed. That's your reference, because you're going to have, for things that are acidic, things like tomatoes, grapefruit, if you have it in a can. Pineapple chunks that you might buy in a can. You've got a year to a year and a half after that pack-by date. For less acidic foods, maybe you bought canned vegetables, for example, you have from 2 to 5 years. So don't let that date throw you. It's really just the packed date, and you have a year up to 5 after that packed date. Again, you'll be totally fine. Now, once you get it home, you're going to store ground beef, ground poultry, and poultry no more than about 1 to 2 days in your fridge. Again, smell it, look at it, utilize your senses. You're going to be a great judge for this. Beef, veal, pork, lamb, it can stay in your fridge provided that your fridge is 40 degrees or below. Your window here, your number is 40 and 140. Refrigerator foods, cold foods, have to stay 40 or below. Hot foods, above 140. Anything in between 40 and 140, an opportunity for bacteria to grow and for you to get sick. So below 40 or above 140, for hot foods hot, cold foods cold. For eggs, generally, the date is not federally mandated, so if you don't have a date on eggs, it's totally fine. Once you buy it, you've got 3 to 5 weeks. For deli, this is what they say. The USDA says that unopened, you have between 5 and 7 days. I don't go with that at all. For me, my deli, let me know if this happens with you. My deli can stay fresh about 3 days, 4 if I push it, which I usually don't. I always go by taste, I always go by smell. I like to keep my deli. Let me know how it is for you. But even though technically you're safe, I really keep deli no more than 3 days. In the fridge, in the freezer, foods can stay almost indefinitely, and then the quality starts to go down after about 6 months to a year, but it will stay indefinitely. You can definitely download a chart such as this that you might want to get from foodsafety.gov. So if you go on your computer, foodsafety.gov will give you a chart like this, and you can put it in your fridge, put it on the door of your fridge if you'd like, and it'll be a handy reference for you. And it will tell you in the freezer or in the fridge how long things can stay and at what temperature they can stay in. It's a great reference, and I use it often. It's very handy, and it's easy, and it's one-stop shopping. Now, in terms of you're going to grill outside, make sure you always keep utensils and trays that are handling the raw foods separate from the handling of the foods once they are cooked. If you're going outside to grill and you have a tray that you have your raw fish or raw chicken or steaks, whatever it is, and then you put it on your grill and then they're cooked. Don't put it back on that same, because you're going to have cross-contamination and you're going to get sick. Have a fresh set of utensils and a fresh tray, and everybody will be safe and be able to enjoy. I always think foods taste better on a grill. I don't know about you. Let me know about you. So definitely don't cross-contaminate. When you're washing your produce, keep them nice and clean, but if you're buying something in a bag and the bag says this has been triple washed, don't wash it again, because you're going to increase contamination. If you have chicken pieces, not necessary to wash chicken pieces. They're fine. They're good to go straight from the package. But if you have a whole chicken, wash it and dry it. Make sure you remove sponges from your sink. You don't want any salmonella that can come from raw chicken to get onto anything else. So make sure you're really meticulous in how you're treating this food and how you're handling things. Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands at each stop, at each step. If you're going for a picnic, bring a bottle of water and maybe some handy wipes or some soap, and that will keep things nice and fresh. If when you're coming home from the market, you need a little longer than that 2-hour window, then definitely pack a cooler. The thing with coolers is they will stay cool the more that's inside them. So you might not think that. You might think that if I have a few things that cold air can circulate. It's actually the opposite. So if you're only getting a few things, bring a smaller cooler. If you only have a larger cooler, pack it full of ice. Because the more this cooler is packed, the colder it will stay. When you're in the market, have them package your meats separately than your produce. You don't want any cross-contamination from juices to accidentally spill out onto your produce, and then increasing the odds that you might get sick, any foodborne illnesses. So definitely have things packed separately, keep coolers separately as well, and make sure that you pack that cooler tight, because the more it's packed, the better it will be. For open packages of things like salads, chicken salads, they don't freeze well. They'll stay in the fridge 3 to 5 days. But again, use your good judgment, because this is how you're going to know by even looking and smelling whether or not you think that something should be safe or not. Am I answering your questions? Definitely let me know with that thumbs up button, because then I'll know I'm on the right track. And if you can, there are some people who I know have had a hard time figuring out how to type in questions or comments. Some are great at it, some are having a hard time. But if you do get this, write it in or give me the thumbs up to let me know, even if you can't type in, that I'm answering your questions regarding food safety and perhaps things that you've always wondered about but weren't sure what the true answer was. Let me talk to you when you're cooking outside on the grill as to temperature and how to know if your food is done, because you certainly don't want to eat something that hasn't killed the bacteria in that food. The only way to judge this is with a meat thermometer. So don't go by go by the meat thermometer. For ground beef, for beef, pork, and veal, it's 160 degrees. For turkey and chicken, at 165. So remember, 160 for meat, 165 for poultry. Steaks, 145. Let them rest for at least 3 minutes. It will allow the temperature to rise a little bit more. That will continue to kill any remaining bacteria, if there is any. It will also allow the muscles in that meat to relax. Will let the juices go back in. If you cut meat or poultry immediately when you take it off the grill or out of cooking, then the juices will run out and you will have a drier piece of a drier taste. So you want that juices to go right back in and to stay in, so definitely let it rest. For poultry, 165, same thing. I'm just making sure I'm getting you. For egg dishes, 160. For casseroles, 165. And for fish, it's just by it till it's opaque, until it looks like it's cooked through. So this is exactly what you want to do. If you are going to marinate something, make sure that you save, if you're going to want to serve some of that marinade, don't take it from the same container which you had the raw meat or fish or chicken. Make sure while you're making marinade, you save a little on the side and then you heat it. That you don't want to have any cross-contamination. Once it's with raw food, it's done. You're going to toss it. You're going to cook and then you're going to toss it. If you have refrigerated leftovers, they can stay in your fridge for 3 to 4 days, and you can freeze it as well. Okay, I think I've answered your questions. I'm hoping. I'm looking to see if there's anything. Oh, there is. Charring. It's thought that when you char foods, that black forms a substance that is thought to be carcinogenic or cancer causing. So to reduce the risk of this, cook on a lower temperature. You might want to par cook in your microwave and then finish cooking on the grill. And marinate your foods. It actually reduces the charring, and cut away any extra fat. When you get it, cut that charring as well, because that's where the risk is. Otherwise, I think foods taste on a grill are scrumptious. We're at that time of year when we can. I actually grill year round, but it is a treat, so you don't want to get sick. So these are easy steps for you that will let you stay healthy and be able to enjoy this delicious food. All right, everybody, I am so glad you've been with me. I got an extra thumbs up, which gives me great pleasure and joy to know that perhaps I've been on the right track in answering your questions. This is, I know I say it all the time, it is my favorite time of year. Tell me if it's your favorite time of year. I find it so easy. We've got delicious fresh fruit and vegetables. We've got great opportunities to grill. It makes life easy and delicious. So following these tips, 1 hour, 2 hours, 2 hours from when you get your food into the cart in the supermarket, 1 hour if you're over 90 degrees, and definitely package them separately, raw foods, raw meats and poultry versus your produce. And with these easy tips, you will have a delicious and safe barbecue season. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great night, and I look forward to seeing you in the live stream in 2 weeks again. Again, if there's anything that you want me to cover, put it in the comments below, and I do appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Thank you again. Have a great night, everybody. Take care. Thank you for joining me.